Hey guys, this is Killrob speaking, and today we are not going to do a little dev update because we are still busy figuring things out and implementing engineers, V12 turbos and a few more structural changes to the game. And that means I will entertain you with a little let's play, or rather a continuation of a let's play. I shall call it the first hypercar. And it is about Killrob Engineering, who in 1987, I will link the video below, completely failed at building a competitive prototype Le Mans car, and now poached an engineer who had a bit of more knowledge. And that knowledge is saying that the competition from McLaren are going to be releasing a very special car, kind of making a new car class even, in 1992 if everything goes well. And we have 4 years in order to beat them to it. So we have a lot of specs and information from our engineer about this, but we are going to try to do it within 3 years so that we have a bit of a market advantage and take the momentum out of their sales. So what I'm going to do now is to build a new car, and we are setting the year to 1992. So what we are aiming for, and we are currently in 1988, 1 year after our complete failure, we are aiming to get it out 1 year ahead of time and kind of match their specs. But the problem is, of course, they have put a lot of engineering time into that car, and that won't be an option really for us to do. So, we have put a lot of effort into the Le Mans model, but not the potential road-going version. So yeah, let's see what we can come up with. First, the rather irrelevant visual design, and then we talk through the different aspects of the competition car from McLaren and my solution to getting there without the expensive or time-expensive tech. So alright, not much has changed, just widened the wheel arches a bit and pulled around a few things, a bit longer nose to get better weight distribution, but otherwise let's get into the chassis type. Obviously, we heard the competition is going for a full carbon fiber car. We really don't have the time for that, so we somehow have to make things count with the much heavier corrosion-resistant steel. It kind of hurts to choose that, but alright. Anyway, we do have quite the engine bay here though, with a mid-longitudinal setup, and while the competition is going for double wishbone suspensions, yeah, we also kind of have to do that. Pushrod we would like to use, but not really happening right now. So also they are using carbon fiber panels. Not an option. Not an option. We don't even know how that works. So no clue. So we go for fiberglass, because fiberglass is awesome. And now for the fixtures. Well, be right back with some design. Alright, it kind of turned out that we had to put the intern on the visual design because all our actual engineers were busy figuring out how to produce this beast within 3 years. So we ended up with this. Anyway, so it's all about dick size and not actually about visuals, right? So let's continue on. And here we have color selector. Like our Le Mans prototype, we will have to go for a blue car, because blue is soothing, and we will need a lot of soothing our nerves within the 3 years of production. Alright, another aspect here which we have to consider. Our competitor is running rear-wheel drive, and we would love to like outdo them by all-wheel drive, but not only does that take longer, it also reduces engine bay size, and considering that we have very limited tech options, we kinda need a bigger engine than what they have, and that means we have to go for rear-wheel drive. Alright, I didn't put any aero fixtures on this one yet, because, wow, the exhaust. What has happened there? Because it is easier to do that later when you have the actual aerodynamics graphs up, right? Alright, let's fix this a little issue here and continue onward. The engine. Alright, so what does our competition have to offer? They are running a 6-liter V12, an 8687 bore stroke, and they are running all alloy. And I think with this long engine bay we scrap our, what was it, 3.5 liter V8 or something, and go for a V12. But because we have shit tech, we will need a lot more capacity to make up the power lost. Fortunately, our engine bay is huge, so well, they are basically going for this configuration, and what I'll be aiming for is something like, let's say, 8 liters? 8 liters sounds alright? Yes, a bit over square too, so lots of revs for the money. Alright. Then we have another conundrum, which is if we go for dual overhead cam, which our company isn't really focused on in the past few years, then we will end up with a bit of trouble in the time department. So let's see. Overhead cam, 4-valve. Very good. All alloy. That should do. Right. That must do. We probably will have to run a pretty low cam profile then, just to make it work. CNC shop, well, limited production. We don't really care. We can place the CNC shop there for producing like 1 per week or whatever. It's fine. It's all fine. Lightweight forged pistons, yeah, sure. Just go for it. It's fine. It's not much engineering in there. It's just time consuming to build. It's engineering time very high. Oh, sorry. This one I meant. Forged. Forged is very, very mundane. Alright, forged should be fine. So, what more compromises can we make? Well, compression. I'm just going for 10.5 for now. Seems reasonable. And let's start out with a 65 cam profile. Our competition actually has something called VVT. That is completely new to us, and we don't have any clue what that does, so we just don't select it. That seems dangerous. And for the style, who cares? It's all about dick size, not about looks, right? So, alright, white, no, blue, yes, exactly. One thing though, considering that we have quite a bit of experience with the 4-valve single overhead cam, I think we can invest just like free quality or whatever. Alright, naturally aspirated. We are currently working on the turbos here, but that would be overkill. So, let's go. And injection. Well, we kind of have to go for that, because otherwise... Whoa, this is large. This fits. This doesn't fit. This fits, but has 0 reliability. So what do? I think we're going for the standard intake here. Alright. Super, because why would you want to drive a car without super? So for the fuel consumption, fuel mixture, all good. Let's go with 75 as default. And how high will this thing rev? 8 liter, well, 7,000 maybe? Long race, long tubular. Let's go with the race version. Yeah, engineering time average. It's not that high. It's just bending pipes so they have equal length. How hard can it be, right? How hard can it be? Tell that to your engineers. I think they will love you. Alright, dual exhaust. We are... yes, so here's the thing. The competition makes 468 kilowatts, or that's what they are aiming for at least, and 651 newton meters of torque. That is 627 horsepower and 480 foot-pounds of torque. And they are revving to 7,500. and have peak torque at 5,600. So, if we're going with this, then we have too little power. If we go with this, then it's fine. High flow cat, yes, and straight through. Alright, let's test this. Should be running... that's not too bad. Alright, so we do have a buggy graph and 483 kilowatts. That is 15 kilowatts more than the competition. Doesn't sound too bad. Alright, let's go with this. That was a good first try. 95 octane, so we can go a bit higher. And there we are. 493 kilowatts. And not horribly bad valve float. Just mini bad. So let's rev to 6.9. No one complains then, right? And just go ahead. So, okay, now we have our tiny little V12 sitting in here. And, whew, that's a pretty tight fit. Alright, manual, single clutch, 5 gears. That's all we can do with our shitty tech. So, 200? What? What does it say? 264 kilometers an hour? That doesn't seem entirely right. So, let's continue on and see what... Oh, probably because it has like massive cooling or whatever. Yeah, I guess that's the case. So let's go for something more reasonable like 350. We have heard the rumors that our competition from McLaren is trying to break speed records. They have calculated they will be doing 370 kilometers an hour, and I don't think that is something we can beat in that time. But let's see if we can match them on other figures. So geared diff. Probably want a gearing which goes to 100 in first gear. No, seems good. Geared. Can we invest something? Ooh, that will be costly. We'll see. +2 is not too extreme. Semi-slicks, because why wouldn't you want to cheat? And then let's put some tires on. This car, of course, is light in the front and pretty heavy in the rear. Also, we are rear-wheel drive, so we want to have a lot of rubber. Not quite that much. Let's put the wheels out, and now even the back end looks only completely awful instead of absolutely terrible. And alloy, yes, alloy. The quality on the wheels? Yeah, we buy better rubber, but only slightly better rubber. So brakes, considering that it's front light, that means with the shifting weight to the front during braking, we'll probably need about equal size rotors in front and rear. And so we go for 300, 300, sounds good, and no quality. We can't afford quality. Oh, okay, that's what's making the car so slow. So we require about 600, and we will have a lot of trouble getting to the speed as the competition does. We don't have the time to invest into quality like this, but we can try. We just go for it, and then we can adjust it. So no aero fixtures on there, so I can't adjust angles. 2 seats, yeah. Alright, so our competition actually has a CD player in there. That is like our luxury variant. We are not going to do that. That is definitely not something people will be looking at when buying this car. So, basic interior? No. Sports interior. A little bit of nice things in there don't hurt. And no quality. No quality. But entertainment... A basic cassette player, just to push up the stats a bit? Yeah, I guess that works. And we do need all the driver assists, though, just to make this thing a little bit more drivable. It's a lot of power for 1992, which is the year which this one will come out in. Oh, 1991, because we want to be 1 year ahead of the competition. So safety... Let's go standard and try to reduce it a bit to make the car lighter. Remember, we have only the super heavy chassis type, while the competition is running carbon fiber and shit. So we want to shave off a bit on the safety there. If people die, so what, we had a very nice spec sheet, right? So who cares? Springs. No fancy pants on springs because we don't have the time. So we're going for... I think we have to go for engineering time very low here. Yeah, let's do that. Twin tube, shitty suspension. Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, so sports standard setup, but usually mid-engine cars are tuned pretty poorly by this, so I will be upping front sway bar and down with the rear so that it's a bit more balanced, and up the front suspension stiffness a bit too. Probably need a bit more rear camber as well, and usually it's a bit soft, so we go with higher ride height. The ride height, by the way, is still a little bit bugged for this car, which doesn't really help us in achieving results of the competition. So 1,400 kilos. Well, the competition is said to be just about 1,140 kilos. So that is a lot heavier, but then again, they are complete carbon fiber, right? So that's still pretty good, And let's see. So without any tuning, we do have... Oh. Now that is interesting. If we look at these performance stats, maybe not this one, but these, that does bode well, because our competition from McLaren does have a standing kilometer of 19.6 seconds at 285, while they have a quarter mile of 11.1, just as we have, at 222 kilometers an hour. Well, I think that matches it pretty well. So good start for a first design pass here. And now let's see. The setup here. This is looking pretty solid. Let's see what we can do to increase it further. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's increase this one and see when it turns around. Oh, there it turned around. So let's drop the 2 back. And now we... Ooh, yeah. Alright. So a lot of lift in the front. That doesn't help the whole thing. So let's change this by adding a lip in the front. Remember that we want to especially achieve the high speeds and not really have the perfect handling at all speeds. If people die, so what? We had a nice spec sheet. So then fixtures, and we put a lip in the front. Like this. Come on, more lip. Lip all the way around. Yes. And now we can go back to the trim. And now we have something to play around with. Let's see. So it already added a little bit more performance at those speeds. So how does this curve change? It goes in the right direction with more downforce, or it gets even faster, more downforce. Oh, there it turned around. We don't want that. So let's smoothen it out a bit on top. 39, that is perfect. You want to have this end of the curve to be as high as possible up in the numbers. And that is what is achieved here. We only sacrificed a bit of top speed for that. And now let's take another look at the data. If you check this out. 119 cornering at in the large curve and at high speed, and 117 at low speeds. Even though we have lift overall, pretty good. On the other hand, we might want to check this graph then, because that is bad. So just give a bit more camber there, and we are back to where we want. Alright, so 22 and 18. So let's compare these to the competition. The engineer whom we poached is saying that they are having expected results of about 1.2 to 1.3 Gs in the corners. And considering that we are much heavier than the competition on about-ish the same size rubber, I think that's acceptable to be in the 1.2 region at all speeds. And now gearing and top speed. 370 kilometers an hour, they say. 370. That is really difficult to reach for us. So what we are going to do is cheat our way there. And let's say, 336, that's really low. How about we just drop this to maybe one more. You see, the average reliability really takes a dive there. Oh shit, it really takes a dive there everywhere in that region. If we just go with 363 instead, let's see what that does to... Ooh! You see that? That's looking better. Maybe. So now we have a top speed of... Come on! Top speed! Oh, wrong tab. 359. Alright, so we are a bit slow. Being slow, if we are a year early, probably is still alright though. And let's see what happens if we get a better 0 to 100 time. Yeah, it's all not that good. So the 0 to 100 time of the competition is 3.3 seconds. And I think if we release this car 1 year early, it kind of takes the wind out of the competition anyway. Alright, fair enough. I think that's all we really can do with the tuning of things. Maybe if we eke out a bit more engine power, but we are already maxed there. If we just go a little bit higher. Oh, we are not really maxed there then. That's still, for just reaching high speed, that should be better. The torque curve still isn't too outrageous, and we do get a bit more compression too. So what if we try this? What do we end up there with there? So 6.6. Very nice. Yes, okay, we shifted that one up. And now, now that is a bit critical, I'd say. So let's give it a bit more rear camber, and that's fixed. And here, we're still good. Let's move this up. This also reduces top speed though, so we have to watch out. So what happens if we just ignore the handling at high speed and drop it down to 0? Oh, almost 370. Do we reach that? 372. I think that's a number I remember from the competition spreadsheet. So, okay, we just don't care about handling at high speeds, even though that's reasonably balanced still. It's bad, but reasonably balanced. Like at 200 kilometers an hour, it's not that much lift. Yeah, let's hope people don't attempt to be doing high-speed runs. So 372. With the updated engine, we need so much more power to push that through. Oh no, this is at plus 10 too. Okay, so now we are definitely at the spot where we have the markets. They look funny. Oh yeah, that's because for 30,000 that would not only be hypercar buyers being interested in this one. So I think we have a decent range of markup potential here. So we want to be over 100. Yes, okay. So even if we have a markup of 350%, we are still doing really well. That is good. Very good. We want to sell all like 25 cars we ever make. And now let's check what we are doing on the engineering. So we have a total time here of 353. This has to be divided by 6 in order to get the correct number. And we are allowed... Oh, wait, it's a limited production car, so this is 300. And what does... Oh, the aerodynamics. You can see where the engineering time is disappearing, so we will have to reduce the aerodynamics to get it out in time, because what time do we have? If we divide this by 6, 50. And 50 is larger than 36 the last time I checked, so we need to reduce it by a bit more than a year. And where could we do that? So, not in the engine, that was not a problem. Aerodynamics, so plus 10 was really bad. So if we just go to plus 5, we are still in the range where they just beat us slightly, and that's not as impressive, right? We are just beating the competition now by miles. So it's all fine. A bit more reliability maybe. Yes. Alright. No flaming wreckages after high-speed tests. So now the aerodynamics are down to 46, and if we switch over to limited production, 39. So you can see that is a massive difference. So 250, we are getting really close. We are allowed to have 3 years, that is 36 times 6. We are allowed to have 216 in order to make it. So what do? We could reduce reliability further. Alright, so now we have... Oh, wait! We can just pour money into it. Perfect! Perfect! Yes, if we pour money into it and shift the focus to efficiency, we don't care about people learning anything there. Very good! So now we had... Ooh, we can invest back into something then. How about aerodynamics? We put 8 in there. 66, yeah, 366 approximately. Can even put a bit of reliability in there and still be done with it. Alright, now the engine. That is probably a bit more tricky. Or is it? So, no, maybe not. This value has to be divided by 4 in order to get the amount of months out of it. So 166 divided by 4 is 41.5, and that is still larger than 36. So we have to save a bit on the engine too. And we see in the top end there is the biggest heap of it, and that is where we added quality. Yeah, I think we have to... No, this hurts so much. Why does it hurt so much? Bottom end. Can't we make it all cheap? Cheap and nasty. -1. Let's go -1. And where can we save another? This costs so much power. Fuel system. Nah. Exhaust system. Also costs power. Everything costs power. So what do we do there? I think it is the reliability slider which has to take it. So how many months are we allowed to have? That is 4 times 36, and that's 144. And it is a full production engine, obviously. So 143. I think we made it. That should be good. And now, let's take a final look. We made a car which comes out 1 year earlier than the McLaren's competition car, which is really fancy and has all kinds of gold plating and stuff. But we do it with really low tech and 1 year early with kind of shoddy design in places, but successful in the performance, on the performance side of things. Quite successful. You shouldn't drive it for too long with the this kind of power, because it will burn up. But that is not something we have to put in the spec sheet. Anyway, so hopefully our marketing guys can make something out of this, and we will be able to profit in the longer run. If I think if we only sell like 20, then the chance of people of getting a death or two is really low. So yeah, or reasonably low. So let's go with this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and Killrob Engineering is saying thank you for your attention and your support in making this marketing stunt happen before the competition does. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed. See you next time.